titties. Alright guys, welcome back to Days of Darkness and welcome to my review of Tucker and Dale versus Evil. This one came out in 2010. It is starring Tyler Labine, Alan Tudyk, and Katrina Bowden, and was directed by Eli Craig. So this was a special request from Mrs. Darkness. I just asked her, I was like, hey, I don't really have anything on tap to review in between, the Alien and Predator series that I'm doing. Just go in there, here, and pick something. And she just was looking around and picked out Tucker and Dale versus Evil. So, motherfucker, here we are. And I'm glad she picked this one, man, because it's interesting to me. I've always had a weird relationship with horror comedy. And I know a lot of people are going to immediately think, oh my god, he's going to shit on this. No, I'm not. Because I actually, believe it or not, I've really thoroughly enjoyed this movie. I've always had difficulty finding horror comedies that, of what I've seen, I've had difficulty finding a good blend of the two genres. Hey dude, I fucking love comedy movies, man. Honest to God, I really do. But obviously horror trumps that genre for me. But I love when a movie is able to blend those two genres seamlessly. Now, with Tucker and Dale versus Evil, I'll be honest, it leans way more into comedic territory. There's nothing here really in my mind that resembles horror, except for the fact that it's pretty fucking bloody. And, when a movie decides to go that direction, when a horror comedy decides to go that direction, it's not an automatic miss. It's just I need some horror love too, man. You know what I mean? Especially if it's for a fucking horror channel like this. And I gotta say, man, this movie really does show a lot of love to the genre. Again, it's not a horror movie, really. I'd show this to just about anybody. I'm like, if you can handle graphic fucking violence, you'll be just fine. This is not a suspenseful movie. This is not anything like that. This is very much so a comedic film through and through, with splashes of blood and gore and horror. What this is, though, is it is a massive parody of the slasher genre. More specifically, the backwoods, hillbilly, you take your wrong turn, your deliverance, your shit like that, It's a parody of that backwoods, Texas Chainsaw Massacre as well, even though it's not really in the woods. But you know what I mean. It's that type of parody. I think they pull it off well, man. I think the direction this movie goes in is a lot of fun. I think the characters are all fucking hilarious. I think the teenagers are really college kids. The college kids in this movie are like cartoonishly fucking stupid. And I can see that being a negative for some people, and it did take me out of it every once in a while. But, it's the whole point. It's a parody of that shit. There's definitely traces of this is what non-horror fans think horror films and horror characters are, which is not the case, but to the ignorant, it is. But overall, man, I really, really like this one, dude. I think it's fucking hilarious. I think we get some really, really fun kills. Again, the characters are all, Tucker and Dale are like the main ones that you really need to invest in. And those two are fucking just fantastic. Alan Tudyk and Tyler Labine are both fucking fantastic actors. Like, anything I've seen either of them in, I've always really enjoyed them. And they're fucking great here, too. And also Katrina Bowden as Allie also is very fantastic. She has great chemistry with the character, which we'll get into. And overall, man, I just think the fucking movie's a blast. If you have an hour and a half to kill and you want to laugh your ass off, fucking throw it in, man. This movie has great comedic timing, great gore, great moments. Like, there's a lot of moments in this film that are just fucking fantastic. And really, that's what comedy films really rely on is, how many hilarious moments can we get? And yeah, man. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get into the spoiler section and let's spoil the shit out of this motherfucker. All right, spoiler time. Your ass has been warned. Now, where to begin? I guess the beginning. We get some news, some like news footage. This reporter going down into the into the cellar or the basement of this like burnt down fucking place. Or wait, what the fuck was it now? I can't remember. Moving on. They're going into a place they shouldn't fucking be going. All right, leave me alone. But they're going in this place. The cameraman's all nervous, and she's telling him to quit being a pussy and all this shit. And eventually, it comes back to bite her in the ass. She gets like a shovel right upside her head, and then the cameraman fucking gets killed too. And we get a very distinctive shot where it's like if you don't know the twist in this movie, and this is like the opening like 30 fucking seconds to like a minute of the movie. So it's like you get this shot of, who ends up being the villain of the movie. And it's like if you know what's going to happen, it's like it's blatantly obvious, But when you see this guy's face and the actor who is the villain, Chad, we're in the spoiler section, get over it. But that actor's face is very, in the makeup that he has later on in the movie, it's very distinctive. Like as soon as you see it, like I hadn't seen this movie in a while, and granted I knew what this movie was all about. I wasn't gonna get like surprised by the ending or anything like that. But it was interesting that they showed that much of that character in that state. I'm like, you would think you'd kind of obscure that a little bit. And again, I know it's a comedy; it's not meant to be taken seriously or anything. But I'm like, it's still like a twist. I don't know. That might just be me, and it's a little minor fucking nitpick. But I was like, they showed way too much of him, like to where a person with a good eye is because like the very next frame, not the very next frame, but the very next scene, we see him as is like normal fucking guy. So I don't know. It's fucking weird. I didn't get it why they would do that, but whatever. It's a fucking little nitpick. But anyways. We get these college kids who are on their way to the lake to do a little partying, little drinking, little fucking. You know how it goes, man, when you're in college. Unless you were a loser like me. I really wasn't doing a whole lot of that. I was mostly just hanging out in my fucking room, watching movies and hanging out with my buddies. But, I had my fun. Moving on. Oh, man. So we get these kids and they're on their way to the lake, and you get this hilarious scene where his truck passes them by and it's just Tucker and Dale. And like I love it because the movie plays it up like they're real sinister type guys, but like just Dale's face. Tyler Labine fucking steals this movie for me, man, and he's just looking at him like It's just fucking great. So they drive on past, and they stop at a gas station because they forgot beer. And this is where we kind of discover the real nature of Tucker and Dale. That they're just fucking hillbillies. Like they're innocent, fun-loving hillbillies. They like to drink and go fishing and fucking, they have a vacation home, which is this ramshackle old little shitty shack. A lot of Evil Dead love here as well, with just the imagery of that cabin and yada yada. A lot of Evil Dead love. But yeah, man, it's a fixer-upper, and they arrive at this place, and these kids are still very wary of them. We'll bounce around a little. Dale immediately has a thing for Allie, who's one of the college girls. He tries to go up and talk to her and just fucking fails miserably. Like, Tucker's like, whatever you say, just make sure to smile and laugh. Which, is like, if you got a little charm to you, like, yeah, that could work. God love Dale, he just doesn't have that, man. So he goes up, and when he laughs, it makes him look like a fucking maniac. Like, he's like, you guys gonna go down the lake? And like, And like, if you're just a fucking guy or a girl, and this guy, fucking dirty hillbilly, comes up to you and starts talking like that, yeah, you're gonna be a little concerned. But poor fucking Dale, man, he's just trying to, just trying to talk to this chick. He's just completely socially inept. This is real funny, and his moments are really what make this movie for me. I love Tucker as well. I think he has some great moments too. But Dale, Tyler Labine, easily fucking steals it. And that's really what the comedy of this movie is it's these kids who are just completely misunderstanding what these hillbillies are about. Later on, they're gonna go, well, I did like the little take. I always say it's the Friday the 13th take, but there are plenty of fucking movies that have ghost stories in them and shit like that, where like a character, they all gather around that campfire or whatever, and he tells this ghost story, you know, kind of foreshadowing the events of what's going to happen later on in the movie. In this case, you know, these killer hillbillies straight up killed the shit out of some kids in the 90s in these very woods. So when these, you know, he scares the shit out of those kids. So when Tucker and Dale just show up, just doing their own thing, these kids are immediately concerned. And that concern escalates when immediately they go skinny dipping in the lake. Tucker and Dale are fishing, you know. And there's a great scene. There's a Pabst. They must have had like a Pabst Blue Ribbon sponsorship or something, because it's all over this fucking movie. But he tries to, you know, he sees that there's one last beer, and Dale's like, oh, well, you know, Tuck, that's for you. And Tucker's like, see, you're never gonna get far in life if you don't stand up for yourself. So Dale like starts to go for the fucking beer. He's like, are you out of your mind? He's like, you just told me to stand up for myself. Oh man, I'm not doing these scenes justice by my shitty impersonations of them. Go watch the movie if you want the full effect. It's just, I'm trying to convey the fact that there's some really funny shit in this fucking movie. Especially, you know, the exchanges between those two are fucking great. But then, you know, they catch Allie, who takes her top off in the on the rock. She takes her top off. She's in her not lingerie, but she's in her bra and panties. And obviously they're both like, and I think at one point, like, I think Tucker says something or rocks the boat or something, and Dale's like, Tucker! And she fucking looks over, she gets freaked out and slips and falls and busts her goddamn head on a rock, which I'm like, holy shit. And they, you know, they drag her in, Dale rescues her, and they drag her into the boat, and then, again, it's these kids seeing something and perceiving it completely the wrong way. And then Chad, who's the villain of the movie, like running with that to fulfill his own violent desires, to want to just kill people, hillbillies. But really just, I think you would jump at the chance to kill anybody. But yeah, man, they drag her in there and they go, we've got your friend! We got your friend! And they fucking run off, and Tucker's like, why are they running away? So they take her back to the cabin, and we get some really, really cute exchanges with Dale and Allie. He makes her pancakes, and she's like freaked out, and he goes, oh, I knew it fucking pancakes, why did I make pancakes, like, damn it, Dale, kind of thing. And he's a nervous fucking guy. He's not good with women, so he's like, meanwhile she still thinks she's gonna get like killed and eaten, but she eventually does warm up to Dale. There's a lot of real cute stuff between those two characters. They play board games and stuff like that. And meanwhile, these characters, man. First of all, let's just talk about it. Besides Chad, who's like literally, like, it's the joke now to call that type of person a Chad. So I don't know if that was intentional. I don't know if they were actually calling people like that Chads yet. But yeah, he's a Chad and his name's Chad. So you got him. He's a little fucking off his rocker. And then you get, like, the proverbial, like, dumb blonde character, which has always been, like, a trope of slasher movies. You always get that one girl who's there to be hot and show her boobs, yada, yada, yada. So that's what, that's what her deal is there. But she's also like, she kind of provides a lot of the comedic moments as well. I actually really dug that character because she's just. I love the scenes where they all run away and she's in like these like pumps, like these heels, and she's just like kind of waddling away. It takes like fucking 30 seconds for her to catch up with everybody in frame. It's fucking awesome. Again, like a lot of subtle nods to the horror genre that I think really make this work. But yeah, they're devising a plan to rescue Allie, and while Dale is in there romancing her, or at least he thinks he is, Tucker's out there working, and I loved this scene. This is like the first time they really try to make a play to rescue Allie. You get this one guy who has a spear. Well, first I must say, I'm totally fucking mixing shit up here. Tucker, I keep mixing their names up. Tucker is out there just doing work again, trying to fix up their cabin that they just bought. And he ends up chainsawing into a fucking beehive that's in like a tree trunk. And the bees just start fucking slaughtering him. And this kid who was convinced by the others to go up and try and get Allie. I don't know why they would just send one person, but whatever. I didn't understand what that guy was wearing. Like, it looks like what a worker would wear at like some of the factories I've seen. My dad, I used to go to his work sometimes, and he would wear a very similar shirt. Like, it has your name on it and the company you work for. Like, why is this guy wearing this on like a vacation? I don't understand that, but whatever. So he sees, because obviously these bee stings fucking hurt. So Tucker comes from around the side of the cabin. Total Leatherface homage here. Total homage to the Texas Chainsaw Massacre. I loved it. He's swinging around the chainsaw. He's yelling and screaming. What this kid doesn't notice is that there's bees stinging the fuck out of him. He's just thinking, oh my god, this guy's gonna try and cut my fucking head off. So he takes off. Tucker takes off after him. And this kid, they're running side by side. And he's looking at him. He's like, wait, why are you trying not to kill me? Pretty much. And as soon as he kind of realizes what's going on, fucking tree branch, sharp as shit, just boom, stabs this kid right through the fucking sternum. You're like, oh my god. And his kid's fucking bleeding out. Tucker runs off into the fucking woods getting stung to shit still. And this kid's like kind of fucking bleeding out, and he's looking like all around. I love the makeup too, because they immediately make him like paler because he's bleeding out. And he's just looking around and he sees this bee, and it just kind of lands on his nose. And you're like, and I imagine that character was like, oh, and then dies. Like, I think a lot of these characters kind of realize what's happening, and right when they realize what's happening, they're fucking dead. So then, Tucker gets back. He's stung to all living shit. Cracks a Pabst Blue open and fucking just pours it all over his fucking face. And then Dale, feeling guilty, agrees to go help Tucker with the rest of the cabin and shit like that. Meanwhile, I don't think Tucker even realized that kid impaled himself. But, so yeah, they get back and they fucking start working, and Dale and Allie are digging a hole for, as Dale puts it, the shitter, or the crapper, crap house, and she says outhouse, like, yeah. And then you kind of discover that Allie really doesn't fit in with her friends very much. She's, she was raised on a farm. She's a tough chick, she's not like ditzy, and, again, you assume that of someone who looks like that, but it's not always the case, man. Tough chick, man, for sure. And she just starts cracking away with this pickaxe, digging a hole. And these kids come up and they're like, "Oh my god, they're making her dig her own grave." And there's a great scene. This is like probably my favorite scene of the movie. It's these kids once again try to save her. One of the kids has a spike, or like a spear or something. It's like a perfect spear. I don't know where the fuck he got that, but whatever. So he has this spear, and he comes up. He tries to stab Dale, but I think Dale turns around, knocks fucking Allie the fuck out again with the shovel. She tumbles down. This kid, he falls into this kid, then falls in and just spikes himself. And he's sliding down, coughing blood up all over Dale. And Dale's like, oh my God, ah! Like fucking freaking out. And then, meanwhile, there's there's a great scene where Tucker is throwing hunks of wood into the wood chipper, and this kid comes out. And again, visual comedy is a big strong suit with this movie. Comes out with this little ditzy little fucking little pocket knife. Like, this thing's literally like that big. Yeah, I don't know what the fuck you think you're gonna do with that, but whatever. But yeah, he charges him. And Tucker just sidesteps and then looks over, and then this kid is just in this fucking wood chipper. He's getting fucking, what wood chippers do. Blood shooting out the other end of it, gets all over the blonde. And she fucking freaks out, and they all run away. And then Dale is like holding this kid, trying to pull him out, which he's done for, dude. It's over. But he has to pull him out, and I love, he just goes, like, the wood chipper eventually jams, or he shuts it off or whatever. And he just goes, are you okay? It's like, nah, man, I don't think he's all right. But then I loved the fact that that when they pull this, like, the half of this kid that's still, intact out of the fucking deal, Dale fucking falls, and Tucker just drags the lower half of this kid and all his intestines and shit right over Dale's face. It's just, and he's like, oh God, I'm gonna fucking puke. Why'd you do that to me, Tuck? Eventually, these kids finally get a hold of a cop. It's actually a cop that pulled over Tucker and Dale earlier on in the film. And Dale even brings up the fact, because Tucker and Dale think that these kids have a suicide pact, and they're all just killing themselves all over the place, and they want to kill Allie. And so that's kind of their reasoning for wanting to protect Allie. Again, just, if there was just basic communication in this fucking movie, a whole lot more could have been solved, but whatever. But yeah, so they think they're trying to kill Allie because she's backing out of the suicide pact. These kids obviously think Tucker and Dale are going to kill Allie, because in their mind, they've already killed like half of their friends at this point. And yeah, man, so eventually this cop is alerted to what's going on. He takes the kids up to the cabin, and he goes to talk to Tucker and Dale. And they're dragging the lower half of this kid that was obliterated by a wood chipper. And this cop, it's like the worst situation that a cop could ever pull up on you on at all. And I like the fact also, before all this happens, I like the fact that Tucker, who's slightly smarter than Dale, not by much, but he is conscious of the fact that, hey, because Dale's like, let's call the police. And he goes, dude, if a cop comes up here and sees a bunch of dead kids and two fucking rednecks in the middle of the woods, what the fuck do you think they're gonna think? Because it ain't looking good for us, I'll tell you that. So they're at least conscious of the fact that, yeah, this does not look good for us at all. Which, I appreciated that they weren't just completely ignorant. In most cases. In a lot of cases they are. But at least on that, I like that they kind of made Tucker at least realize, okay, yeah, cops aren't an option right now. So they try and clean up. This cop comes up, and they're like, fuck. Because they both have like a leg in their hand, and they just drop this fucking, it's not even a kid anymore. It's just it's a pair of legs, essentially. And they fucking drop them. And, the cop actually believes them. They go into the cabin, and there's this rickety beam that's in, like, the middle of the cabin. And they've been meaning to fix it this entire movie, and they just haven't. So this cop, he's like, you guys are looking at, like, involuntary manslaughter here. Like, you guys are in some shit. And they're like, oh, fuck. And he leans on the beam, and they're both like, no, too late. The beam collapses, another one swings down and, like, gets this just lodges this block of like nails into this guy's fucking skull, and he like lumbers out of there. So the kids think that Tucker and Dale killed the cop. He lumbers out of there, and those kids are fucking freaking out. And when, you know, he collapses down, tries to go for his radio, collapses, dies. And one of the kids, probably the dumbest fucking kid in this entire movie. They're all stupid, but this guy takes the fucking cake. Grabs the cop's gun. He's like, "Fuck you, motherfucker." And he tries to shoot Tucker and Dale, and Dale, like an idiot, just goes, "Oh, you gotta take the safety off there." Tucker's like looking at him like, "What the fuck are you doing, dude?" And, you know, this kid's fucking with the gun. And then you know what happens next. It's like, the idiot looks down the barrel, is fucking with it. Boom! Blows his own fucking head off. And now these kids are like, "What the fuck? He just killed himself." And everyone's freaking out, man. It's just fucking chaos, and I love it. And amongst all this chaos, Chad, the fucking piece of shit he is, dog naps Dale's dog, Jengers, who I haven't even talked about Jengers yet. He is the most adorable little fucking dog. Well, he's not little, he's a big fucking dog, but he is the most adorable fucking dog ever. And I always say that about any fucking dog of all time. All dogs are fucking beautiful. But moving on. Jengers is this beautiful little bulldog, one eye, one eye's just gone, but the other one is like blue. Fucking gorgeous dog. Such a good boy. And yeah, this dude fucking threatens to shoot Jengers in the head. I'm like, "You're a piece of shit, dude." He's like, "If you don't give us Allie, we're gonna shoot your dog." And Dale's like, "If you do that, I'll be really mad." Awesome. But yeah, dude, so they get in a shootout. Dale is given a nail gun by Tucker to shoot at the kids, basically to distract them. Almost shoots Tucker in the fucking face with it, and he goes, "I'm sorry. I'm sorry." But, you know, they get in this shootout. Tucker's able to sneak around and release Jengers from his leash so he could run off. And now they got Tucker in a pickle. They kidnap Tucker. They hang him upside down. And this fucking psycho chops two, as Dale would say, his bowling fingers. They took his bowling fingers. Love this movie, man. But yeah, man, they chop off his fingers and then they send them to Dale. And they're like, "Give us Allie and we'll give you back your friend," or whatever the fuck. And yeah, Dale goes to rescue Tucker and springs a trap where this spear. I don't know where the fuck these kids are getting these perfect wooden spears, but they're just getting them. And this thing fires and goes right through the crotch of Dale's pants, but it doesn't nick anything, doesn't get his man bits or nothing like that. And he even grabs himself. He's like, oh, I never thought I'd say this, but I'm so happy I'm not hung like a bear." It's great. So he cuts him down. Tucker lands on his head. Meanwhile, Chad and another girl that I can't remember her name, which I guess is kind of the purpose. I don't think some of these characters even get names. I'm probably wrong about that, but well, whatever. So it's Chad and this one chick go to save Allie while Dale is out saving Tucker. And she's kind of like, "Guys, these people aren't fucking killers at all. Like, you guys have been acting like psychos this whole time for no reason." Then Tucker and Dale get back, and obviously tensions are very high. So Allie, who's a therapist in training, that's her major, decides to put on some tea, and they even say, like, I love the fact that this, like, very sinister character, Chad, even is not immune from the comedy of this movie, because he has asthma, so, like, he'll be acting all fucking evil and shit, and then all of a sudden he'll just go, it's just funny. And he goes like, "Oh, is that chamomile tea? I can't have that. It fucks with my asthma," which plays later on in the movie. But they end up tensions are very high, to say the least. And so she puts on some tea and they talk it out. She goes, "I want you guys to both describe your points of view, and while the other is talking, I want you to do your best to put yourself in their shoes, which is a pretty good course of action. Goes to shit though, because the other two, the dumb blonde and the other guy, are coming in. He said if it what did he say? It's like, oh yeah, if they're not out of there in 15 minutes, Chad said for us to come in guns a blazing. And then the blonde chick goes, you don't have a gun though. He's like, damn it, woman, don't argue with me. I love it. But yeah, man, so they go in there and he has a fucking hedge trimmer or like a weed whacker. Yeah, it's a weed whacker. Needless to say, he goes for Dale. Dale moves and he weed whacks the fuck out of this girl's face. Like, just takes her face apart, dude. Now, I know there are probably different weed whackers and that might have not necessarily been that instrument, but I have seen weed whackers legit used on people. Shout out to Deathmatch Wrestling. So I don't think it would do that much damage. But again, I'm well aware there's probably different types of weed whackers. So yeah, this thing completely takes off this chick's face. She's not dead yet, though. This guy ends up getting set on fire. The dumb blonde tries to put him out with what she thinks is water, but it's actually Everclear. So he just gets more inflamed and he dies. And then this whole fucking place, like, fire just goes all around and this whole place just explodes. Tucker, Dale, and Allie are able to make it out. And Jengers too, thankfully. But they all make it out. And Chad is the only one who's left of the group, besides Allie, but she's not even part of the group anymore at this point. But he's the last one, and his, like, the entire half of his face is just completely burnt, having him now look like Chad from the beginning of the movie, which again, I'm like, holy shit, they showed a lot of him, but whatever. Moving on. So yeah, now he is full-blown, burnt half face, psychotic, and she, like, Allie even goes like, hey, maybe we could still work this out, and Chad just goes, ah! And she's like, yeah, we should go. They all fucking speed off. And as they're speeding off, Dale just completely takes his eyes off the road. It's so funny how, like, long he's like, man, we sure got him, huh? And then there's this tree just coming in the fucking, in the windshield. Needless to say, they crash. And once Dale is woken by some kisses from Jengers, he realizes, holy shit, Allie's gone. Tucker's completely injured now. He's done. He can't do shit. And Dale ends up going by himself to go save Allie. And this is where we get our last final battle between Dale and Chad. Really, really fun stuff here, man. Chad is tied, very old school villain shit. He has tied Allie to a saw board, and she's slowly getting pulled towards a spinning saw blade, which is fucking gnarly. That's like 60s Batman shit, like with the laser coming up towards like whoever's dick or whatever. It's very, very old school. Again, another love letter to the horror genre here. But Dale springs to the rescue, and the two have a pretty goddamn good fight. I gotta say, like, it's a horror comedy movie for sure, but it was a pretty decent little fight. Ends with a chainsaw versus pole exchange, which I'm sure you know which one wins there. But it's actually a pretty inventive deal. So Dale's able to get Chad on the ground, and Dale just throws the chainsaw to him, throws a turned on chainsaw to Chad, which obviously he's going to kind of be incapacitated by trying not to get fucking sawed apart by this thing. And Dale and Allie run off. They run upstairs, and he looks for more shit to kind of protect them with while Chad's still in the basement. And he finds calomel. I think I've been saying that right. Whatever. The tea, the fucking tea that he's allergic to, all right? Finds the tea that Chad is allergic to, and while Dale finds that, Allie finds a newspaper that, details the events that Chad talked about. I didn't even mention the fact that during their little therapy session, Chad revealed that his parents Well, his dad was killed by the hillbillies, and his mom, who was pregnant with him, was badly assaulted but was able to escape. And here we realize that there's a bit of that story that was tweaked, and Chad did not know about this because she finds the newspaper and she reads a little bit about it, and she sees that the guy they arrested who beat and raped Chad's mom looks like a lot like Chad, which would obviously lead to the conclusion that, oh my god, this guy is Chad's dad, which uh, leads to the reasoning of why Chad's so fucked up in the head. You know, you could go on about the nature versus nurture aspect of that, and does that really matter? Yet it's like, yeah, whatever. It's a fucking horror comedy. Who fucking cares? But yeah, man. So Chad busts out of the basement doors to chainsaw Dale, but Dale's like, look, look, and he points to the picture, and it's funny because you can tell that they just clearly took the actor who played Chad and just put him in a bunch of hillbilly shit and took the photo. Like it's literally the same person. But it was pretty funny, just that visual. Very sinister backstory to it, but the visual itself was at least kind of funny. But yeah, man, so Chad's obviously a little distressed while he is very stressed out about all of this. Dale throws the tea in his face. He backs up and falls out of the barn and goes kersplat. Now, we know he's not dead because of what happened in the beginning of the movie with the news with people. But yeah, so he's down for the count as far as Dale and Allie are concerned. And they go back and they're safe. They're good to go. They transition to the hospital where Tucker is recovering from the car wreck and all the other damage he sustained. And they reattached his fingers, and he shows, like, see, they reattached them. And this one right here, you can tell that it's a woman's finger. Like, I guess they got the wrong finger or something. But yeah, it has like red nail polish on it. He's like, yeah, I don't remember it looking like that, but whatever, I guess. And he gives him Dale gifts Tucker a Pabst Blue ribbon as a get well present. And this entire time, Tucker has been trying to encourage Dale to ask Allie out. And he goes, did you ask her out? And he goes, well, I didn't really get the chance. And he goes, oh, you see, you're hopeless, man. You're hopeless. And he goes, but I did find out she's a pretty damn good bowler, so we're going bowling. And that's how we end the movie. It's a cute little bowling date between Dale and Allie, and one of Dale's other redneck friends is there as well. And he's like, man, how'd you get with this chick? He goes, look, just be yourself. And he goes, yeah, you're right. I'm gonna go talk to one of them girls over there. And this guy's like totally fucking strung out, like mangy hair, like yeah, I'm gonna go talk to her over there. And he fucking goes, and it does not go well, to say the least. He ends up knocking one of the girls out and like dragging her away, which is very suspect. But meanwhile, while this is going on in the background, Dale is like trying to profess his love to Allie, and he's very nervous. And Allie just kisses him and goes, I feel the same way. Very, aw, cute. You see this guy knock out this girl in the background, and Dale is like kind of concerned. And they both look back, and they're like, whatever. And then they start making out more. And that's the end of the movie. Man, this one's fucking fun, dude. It's a fucking blast. If you haven't seen it and you enjoy horror comedy, don't let my shitty impressions of the scenes be it for you. I encourage you to actually go out and watch it, because it's a fucking ball, man. I would 100% give this a watch if you haven't seen it. It's a great one to throw on with some friends and just laugh your ass off. It's a really fun little flick. That being said, that'll do it for the review portion of the video. But you know what we gotta do now, baby? We gotta get into the blood, the guts, and the gory bits. We gotta get into my kill of the film. Stick around. Tucker and Dale is a fucking blast, man. 100%. Like I said before, it definitely leads more into comedy territory. But there is a lot of love towards the horror genre nonetheless. And the biggest nod to horror is the fucking violence in this movie. Holy shit. It's a comedy, no doubt, but they do not hold back when it comes to the blood and the guts, man. It's fucking great. I love again the kid getting spiked in the woods when he's running. Just and it goes like through him. It's fucking brutal. The other kid falling in the the shitter hole, falling in the shitter hole and spiking himself with his own spear. That chick getting weed whacked in the face, even though that's not technically what killed her. It was like holy shit! Like he just rams his shit into her face. That was fucking brutal. Um, Let me think what else here. I love the guy getting the nail block in his fucking head and just stumbling around. That was sick. You get some duds too. Like I mean, Chad's death. It's not his death even really, but Chad. If they did kill him off, I wish they kind of would have killed him off. Had him have a spectacular death. But honestly, I say there's duds. I'm gonna redact that because I really don't think. I'd say the only real dud is probably the explosion. It's like, oh, okay, whatever. But besides that, I think all the kills in this are really solid. But kill of the film for me, 150 fucking percent, has got to be that wood chipper kill, man. Oh my god, that was fucking glorious. That kid just diving headfirst in that fucking wood chipper, Chuck Tucker trying to pull him out, and this kid's getting just torn apart by this thing. They take him out. Dale falls back, and he just drags his guts right over Dale's fucking face. Very slapstick, but still just fucking brutal, man. I absolutely loved it, and I loved this fucking movie too. But yeah, guys, like I said, go check out Tucker and Dale versus Evil 100%. It's a fucking blast. And yeah, that'll do it for that, man. Great fucking movie. Next time on Days of Darkness, we are going to be reviewing Alien versus Predator. That's right, baby. We're finally going to fucking get into it. AVP, the first one. Don't worry, we'll get to AVPR soon. But for now, AVP, the OG. I'm excited to see it. I haven't seen that movie in a very, very fucking long time. So I think it'll be an interesting watch, and we'll see what I have to say. I remember loving it as a kid. Not really sure how I'm going to feel about it now. But we will save that discussion for another day. Without further ado, thank you all for supporting the dream, stopping by and listening to me talk about blood and guts and horror and all that cool shit. Take care of yourselves, take care of each other, and keep watching horror. All right, guys. Have a good rest of your day.